You've wanted to visit Japan your entire life. Maybe you even have a JDM car that you want to get parts for while you're out there. Well, congratulations, you found the right video. We decided on spending about 2 weeks there. I went with the express purpose of seeing all of the monuments I'd grown up idolizing and also the car culture, trying to get as many parts for my S15 as I possibly could. Trying to get those back is a whole issue in and of itself, but I digest. We fly in about 17 hours.
Oh my God, we're here.
Pretty early on, we decided we were gonna stay that first night in Tokyo to avoid jet lag, so we grabbed our bags, left the airport, and went out for dinner. Got some ramen, it was great, but let me tell you what, everything tastes like the ocean the first week you're there. This umami flavor everybody's talking about, that's seaweed. Don't worry, your taste buds do adjust eventually, but until then, that egg sando from the konbinis is gonna be your best friend. And after that, we just went to bed. We were all fried. The next morning, we stopped by a market where I was in full tourist mode, decided to get a shot of sake because it was like $3 from a stand. I said kakui, it was not kakui. I drink beer for a reason. After we got done there, we took the Shinkansen to Kyoto. As we were going to Kyoto, you're supposed to be able to see Mount Fuji. We couldn't, it was super cloudy, but it was still pretty. We make it to Kyoto and it is exactly all of like the tourist posts. They're all from there. You got the pagodas, you got the Inari shrines, you got King Kakuji. So the first day we're there, we didn't have a lot of time. It was already kind of getting dark. So we went to King Kakuji. That actually was one of my favorite spots just because it like had its own grounds and it was like kind of closer to night. So there wasn't a ton of people there, was able to get some good footage. It was actually really peaceful. Next day, the Inari shrine, that was also one of my favorite spots. Loved that. The hike was amazing. Like halfway up, there's this little place that looks pretty sacred with a bunch of Inari, which are the fox like statues. I took a bunch of footage of that, but I don't know if I should edit it and put it up because I don't want to be like stepping on any Shinto toes and be disrespectful. So let me know in the comments if that's cool to do a speed ramp on. We go to the bamboo forest. Now the bamboo forest, a lot of people talk about the bamboo forest part of it, but like behind the bamboo forest is just as cool. There's like a river and a bunch of ponds and like this old samurai's house that was like one of the most gorgeous places I'd ever been to. I had already seen Shogun, but my wife watched Shogun getting ready for this trip, and like around every corner we were like, oh, that's Shogun, oh, that's Shogun, oh, that's Shogun. And it was beautiful. So we get done eating and we decide to head over to the Osaka pagoda area. And that's another spot amazing because there's like the main black pagoda. And then you walk up a bit more and there's like one of the, I forget what it's called. It's a long name that I can't pronounce. There's like a building that's all made out of wood and I think there's no nails in it, but that was also fantastically beautiful. There's another pagoda that's red over by that. And then you walk back down after you're done there and there's the mochi pounders, which if any of you guys follow me on social media, you saw that I used them in an edit. Super nice people, very smiley, but none of us had cash, so we couldn't try the mochi. I hear it's delectable though. That kind of concluded Kyoto. I enjoyed Kyoto a lot more than I thought I would. I wouldn't really change our itinerary. I liked pretty much everywhere we went, but if I had to rank it, I'd say the Osaka Pagoda area was definitely my favorite. So we get to Osaka, and when you have these travel days, it's kind of hard to get like embedded in the city right off the bat. So we usually would take it easy. So we get into Osaka, drop off our stuff, hit Dotonbori, see the Glico sign, see the Asahi billboard. Little child Chance is so happy inside. Go drinking a little bit, try some of the food. I think we had the little squid balls at this point. Those fantastic, but I'll get to that in a second. Next morning, we had gotten the Osaka Amazing Pass, I think is what it's called, and you get to ride a bunch of the trains for free, and then you get to see a bunch of the attractions for free. So we went to the Osaka Castle, which I do play some games. From Software are my favorite, and they have a game called Sekiro, and in Sekiro, a couple of the castles are modeled after the Osaka Castle from what I understand, and I could kind of see where that inspiration was taken from. The thing that I really enjoyed about the Osaka Castle was the way that the moats worked, because it was like the corners had a very sharp edge that kind of like pivoted down, like kind of at a curve. You go through the castle and like each floor shows like a different time period or something different about like the castle's history because it's thousands of years old. You get to the top and you can see like the whole of Osaka more or less. We got back down, there were some street vendors. This one dude, you know that cup game where you like flip it up and you try to catch it or like hit it on the pogo pole thing? There was a dude that had gone pro with with that. Shout out to that guy. If you ever see this, you won't, but keep doing you, man. So we get done at Osaka Castle, and using our amazing Osaka Pass, we traveled by train down to Shinsekai, which is kind of like an electric district that was supposed to be in the future at some point. I don't know. But the billboards above the restaurants, amazing. And this giant tower, they got a lot of towers throughout Japan. I don't know if you know that. You go inside the tower, and you can go to the top, and there's an observation deck, but the whole thing is like sponsored by Glico, which if you don't know the company Glico, they have like the Running Man dude on Dotonbori in Osaka, but they also make the Pocky candy, the little sticks with the chocolate on the end. So they had a lot of like Pocky related merch when you went to the top. So it's dark now and all the neon signs start to light up, and it is just a vibe. It's very cyberpunk the way it looks. So I go get a Konbini beer and sit down on the street, kind of buy some locals.
We out here in Japan.
And it was like a group of 50-something, 60-something-year-old dudes who were all drinking on the street, just having the best time. I believe this night we went back to Dotonbori. We tried onomiyaki, the squid balls and the pancake. Squid balls, I liked a lot more than the pancake. They have these flakes of dried fish that they put on both of those dishes, and it is the most fishy tasting fish thing I've ever eaten. After that, we got on a little barge that takes you up and down the river on Dotonbori. We take a ride through that and get to see like all of the signs from the absolute center of the river. Amazing. Osaka is one of the few spots that I had like recognized car culture would be at. In Kyoto, I saw like one GR86. In Osaka, the first night we were there, I could hear some rowdy boys getting on the Kanjo loop. You know, you see more cars there. So there's this place called the Medikamura, which is like a 10-minute walk from Dotonbori. So I hoof it down there. My wife and her sister follow me, and they just kind of hang out in Amerikamura as I'm scouting all these cars. I got to shoot in with two dudes who are super nice, and then a third guy came along. He was also really nice. That's the mochi edit that I put up on Instagram, are those cars. So it was very interesting because neither of us spoke each other's language, but cars brought us together. Like me walking up to them, showing them my camera, showing them my Instagram, and then showing them my car that came from Osaka. It probably had driven that same street. That like hooked them on a different level, and then it was like they went through my whole page while I was filming. It was very gratifying. Really loved Osaka, but I don't think we utilized our time the best here. I really enjoyed the castle and Shinsekai, but I don't feel like we got to see Osaka car culture. Amerikamura was awesome, and I really wish I would have scouted more spots like that before we went. So the next day we pack up our bags again, and we head to Odawara, which is in between Osaka and Tokyo. We got a Honda N-Box and drove that through Hakone into the Mount Fuji, Lake Kawaguchiko area, and we were staying at a traditional Japanese inn, also known as a ryokan. This is the one accommodation I would recommend not skipping. Ryokans are on another level. It's just the 5-star experience. They have the best hospitality ever. They gave us a full tour of the grounds. They had a tea ceremony spot, and then like a Zen garden where you could go and just kind of like walk through. They had different onsens. They had onsens in our room, which is why I booked this hotel, because I don't know if you can tell, your boy's got tattoos. Nobody was with me going into any sort of public onsen. And then we had what's called the kaiseki dinner, where they take all of the local produce and make like a 10-course meal out of it, right? So I don't know what we ate. We had some Wagyu. I think there was a shrimp at one point, but what I can tell you is all 10 courses were phenomenal. And by this point, not everything tasted like seaweed. Thank God. The ocean taste had kind of dissipated. My taste buds are starting to get normal to it. And if there was one dinner I wanted to be able to enjoy to the fullest, it was this dinner, and I'm glad that it vibed with me. So we get done with dinner, and people in Japan, I guess, take like drumming lessons through school. So they have like this whole drum ceremony with everybody staying there like in the lobby watching as the employees put on this show, and it was a vibe. I definitely wanted to go fight some Mongols after that. I'm not gonna lie, Ghost of Tsushima running through my veins. The next morning was my birthday. The room that we had gotten had this giant bay window. You could see Mount Fuji right outside this giant bay window. And then from our onsen, you could also see Mount Fuji. But up until this point, our whole trip, Mount Fuji was covered. You couldn't see any of it. But the lady working the front desk told us that this day, for the first time in weeks, it might actually clear up. And so I had a time lapse while I was just soaking in the onsen in the morning of like the clouds parting and us seeing Mount Fuji, and it was it was perfect. Get everything loaded up, and our only issue with staying at this ryokan is that we didn't stay 2 nights. We toured around the lake. We stopped at the infamous Lawson's. There was way too many tourists.
All right, we showed up at the Lawson's. Mount Fuji is supposed to be back here. Of course, there's clouds just covering it all day today. I also am not used to this K-truck, K-van, so you can see my hideous parking spot. What did you think of the ryokan?
Amazing. We should have spent more days there.
Definitely. The room had a onsen in it, and we could see Mount Fuji from the onsen. Impeccable. Now we're gonna go to Lake Kawaguchiko, and then we have to go back to Tokyo today to get ready for Tokyo Disney. Just got done shooting the K-van. Lake Kawaguchi is pretty dope. Humid as shit, but it's awesome.
Like a usual tourist, we lost track of time. And wouldn't you know it, we had to speed the whole way back to Odawara to get our rental back on time, so that way we could make it into Tokyo. We made it. Somebody might have turned off navigation by accident a couple times, but we learn, we forgive, and we forget. If it's our wife, nobody else. If I had to do it over again, I definitely would have stayed longer and rented a sports car, taken a day trip out to Hakone, and hit up some toges. And then once we got back into Tokyo, we were gonna spend the first 2 days going to the Disney parks. I'll make this part brief because I'm not gonna cover all the Disney shit. If you like Disney parks, you gotta go. If you don't, you can totally skip it. But that night, we get to our hotel, still my birthday, we go get the Wagyu grill dinner, where like you get all of the different cuts of Wagyu and of pork, and you cook them on the grill top with the giant vent above it. That was perfection. It was expensive, probably wouldn't do it every meal, but you definitely need to try it while you're out there. But after that, we had some time to kill, and we were staying pretty close to APIT Autobaqs. So your boy was like, let's go.
All right, so we left Lake Kawaguchi and Mount Fuji. We had to rush to return the car. Now we're in Tokyo. We're going to APIT Autobaqs, and immediately after getting off the train, there's just a lineup of cars.
Oh my God, speaking of which.
All the Honda boys out here, let's go. I was just giving you guys that update. There was a lady standing right here. She got freaked out and just ran across on a red. Did not care about getting hit by a car.
As we're walking, I'm talking to Jennifer, and I have my phone up, kind of vlogging the situation. I get done talking, and as I put my phone down, I see this woman jaywalk and just run across the road. Now, for those of you who don't know, Japanese people love rules, and even more than rules, they love following the rules. They will follow the rules if nobody else is watching, just to make sure they follow them. So this woman had to be utterly terrified. She was not having any of it. She scurried off. Can't even blame her.
There we are, let's go. So of those of you who don't know, APIT Autobaqs is like a superstore for car parts, and then they have a bookstore and a coffee shop inside. And this building is massive. Absolutely huge. It's crazy. I've watched so many videos about this place. I feel like I know where everything's at already. So you enter in right here. This is all interior goodies. You got your floor mats, your seat cushions, your car seats. I got the Pandam S15. Trying to find the S15 stuff. Get some things for the Sylvia. All right, so they got a lot of BRZ and Roadster. I think that's the Miata parts. Looking for S15, not seeing a bunch.
I start doing a little bit of shopping, but I knew we'd be back, so I didn't actually buy anything that night, so I could get like as much tax deduction as I could, because you had to like meet a threshold of so many dollars, and I wasn't gonna meet it.
All right, so we just got done. They were just closing up, so we didn't have a lot of time to go shopping, so we're gonna come back in a couple days, and that's when I'll make my purchases. But in the meantime, look at that. Would you just... Oh, they're doing one of the tour things. 4-door R34. Oh my God. Would you look at that? Liberty Walk S15. Let's f***ing go. Holy shit.
Disney happens. We get done with Disney. Now, I had talked about in the beginning of this video, however long ago that was, that part of the reason I went to Japan was to get parts for this car. Well, let me tell you what, I went through extreme lengths to get the exhaust that I put on this car from the factory that makes it.
All right, so it's raining, I'm worried about Daikoku. We're going to pick up this rental car. I'm keeping my fingers crossed people still turn up, but I don't have high hopes. Very excited to go to Yashio Factory, get my exhaust. A little worried about trying to get it on the plane.
We're gonna take the rental car. We're gonna go to Yashio Factory. We're gonna get the exhaust. Then we're gonna hit up 2 different up garages. We're gonna hit the Nissan Amore factory. Then we're gonna hit Daikoku. Then we're gonna hit the parking garage that's in the middle of the bay that all the supercars go to.
We have found the rental car.
End up getting this Subaru Lavorg.
So this is our rental car. It's an STI.
It was a lot bigger than I was expecting though, and Tokyo streets are teeny. So I'm having a hard time kind of maneuvering this thing through the city, but we get to Yashio and I see the sign on the side of the warehouse that says Yashio.
All right, so we're done at McDonald's and we made our way to Yashio. Let's go. All right, so they just helped me out. These cars are crazy. It is so nuts seeing them in real life. The shop is amazing. Oh my God.
I had emailed Okachan weeks prior telling him I was gonna be there. Low-key pro move, don't show up to places without emailing them first. Little breakdown, didn't get a lot of footage from Yashio Factory. Showed up, I'm super stoked, I see the sign, I go to do a 3-point turn to park and immediately scrape the front bumper on the curb. Because of the rental agreement, I have to call the police, fill out this report. I know it's gonna take hours, so my wife stays with the car and she's like, run inside, grab the shit, and we'll figure this out when you're done. So I go in there trying to like put on my best face like nothing just happened. I meet Okachan. He's there with his homie. They realize I'm there for the exhaust.
You trying to take this home?
They were concerned the muffler wasn't gonna fit in the car. Went back and forth a little bit about it. My translation app was not working at all. So we had to play some Tetris to get this box in, lay down the seats, push Jennifer's seat forward. I am so stoked we got it to fit in the car. I've been stressing about it. Fingers crossed everything goes good, but getting it to the airport is probably gonna be a pain in the ass. So we'll see how that goes. We get done and I have to face reality. I've just messed up. The one day in Japan, I have to get all of the parts for this car and I don't know what I'm gonna do. My wife, being an absolute gem, goes and talks to the gas station attendant at the 7-Eleven. She gets them to call the police. The police show up, we're getting things figured out, and at some point he has to take me back over to Yashio Factory to see if they want to press charges against the damage I did to their curb.
Totally didn't hit the curb.
I'm like getting sick just thinking about it now, like reliving all these memories. They were dumbfounded I had gotten in a wreck and not said anything. So we asked him if he wants to press any charges. Okachan's like, no, dude. I did tell them repeatedly, I am sorry for being a nuisance. I'm sorry for you. And I was just super apologetic. And so they did give me quite a bit of grace. So when we had gotten there, it was around noon. And now it's like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Having said all that, to get from Yashio Factory, which is kind of like in the north, in the middle of Tokyo, back down to the up garages and the Omori factory that I wanted to go to, I would have gotten there literally as they were closing the door. So unfortunately, I just made an audible and I was like, all right, let's go back to APIT. So we go to APIT.
Look at this lineup. We got an R34, Hans S15. So clean. Oh my God. Bro, even in the back parking lot, they got it. Probably the second time I've ever seen a new Z in the wild. And my wife's favorite, the N-Box. She wants to bring one of those home so badly. Then we come over here and there's just R34 after R34.
The lineup is so much better than the other night when we came. It's insane. Just seeing the cars here in Japan, you can't beat it. It's crazy. I get some windshield wipers for the car because that's the only thing they have that fits my S15. I get some other knickknacks from my homies back home. All right, so we just got done at Autobaqs, spent way too much money, but got all the goods. Parking lot's awesome, but a lot of the cars I was wanting to film look like they're doing tours, and so I don't think they'd be down for me to shoot their car. So now we're gonna head over to Daikoku and see what's going on there before it gets shut down. Keeping my fingers crossed that there's still going to be some turnout. It looks like the rain's kind of died down a little bit, and with all these gaijin going there with these tourist groups, I think we're going to be set. So see you guys at Daikoku. While we're there, we start to see more and more cars show up. You know, I see Hans S15.
We fucking made it, boys.
So I'm going around shooting. We're barely there for what feels like 45 minutes before the cops shut it down.
Well, it was good while it lasted. Got some shots.
By this point, between the police officers, how long of a day it's been, I've kind of gotten snappy. You know, we're not vibing as a team and the vibes are just not there. So I was just like, you know what, let's call it. We finally get back into the Airbnb after parking, and I'm worried that the car is going to get towed or this, that, and the other. It was a nightmare, to say the least. Was it worth it? Yes. Every time I turn on this car and I hear that exhaust, that whole thing, totally worth it.
Getting to meet Oka-chan yesterday was awesome. I can't believe, like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. The accident kind of took the wind out of my sails. I wanted to spend a little bit more time there and try to shoot some of their cars, but...
Now, do I wish I had the footage and the experience of going to these other car meets? And yes. But that's why I'm going back. You don't have to just go once. So the next morning, I immediately wake up, go to return the car. I have to make a left-hand turn to get into it. And as I make that left-hand turn, I just see a line of no less than 6 or 7 Japanese people, adults, with the most disappointed, disapproving parent look on their face, arms crossed. As I'm pulling in, I say, sorry, I'm bowing left, right, and center. As we're getting out, we unload all of the rest, the 2 things we had in there, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, now how much do I owe? And they're like, oh, you don't owe anything. You did everything right. And I said, thank God, my luck has changed. We're moving on. The rest of the day went great.
We're at this spot. You can see the 3 trains crossing. Oh, there goes one. Straight up Blade Runner out here. It's fucking awesome. Right now, we're gonna go over to Hanazono Shrine, drop off the girls, then I'm gonna go over to this store that has a bunch of Souls merch. Gonna try to find some Bloodborne shit, gonna try to find some Elden Ring merch if I can.
So I get some Bloodborne merch, get some Elden Ring merch, touch base with the guy. He thought my tattoo was cool. That was pretty sick.
All right, so we just secured the bag, got a bunch of Bloodborne and Elden Ring merch. So stoked I found this shop. When looking everywhere in Akihabara, I couldn't find a damn thing. So stoked. All right, now we got to go meet back up with Jennifer and China. We found them, and we also found Golden Guy. So aesthetic. Probably the dirtiest place in Tokyo I've seen, but it is like a bar street, so it kind of makes sense.
Meet back up with them, and it's still daytime, but we make it to Golden Guy, and I very quickly realize I'm good on Golden Guy this trip. I don't need to come back here. There's way too many foreigners, and this was not what I thought it'd be. We spend the rest of the day kind of shopping. Jennifer gets her Onitsuka Tigers, those shoes that everybody gets.
We ended up at the Conveyor Belt Sushi. Leave it to Jennifer and China to get cheese sticks at a sushi restaurant.
They're delicious.
2 orders of these.
You got 2 orders.
Like 3.
So it goes across here and you can pick it, or you can just like hit the menus right here and select whatever you want. And you got like rolls, noodles. China just figured out that we can scroll across this top menu and it's a game changer. All right, final damage report.
The level towers and dishes. Tower tire.
It's like a whole Japanese city block with these skyscrapers that we built. Oh my God, and there's more. They got more desserts. Yeah, they got 4 desserts. This thing's like a creme brulee though. It is so good.
The crick. Oh, I can't see it. She's crack-a-lacking. Whoa.
There we go.
Wow, she's cute. The fort.
We came back outside and everything has lit up. It's crazy looking. God damn. God damn.
But I do have an editing client that is out in Japan, and that evening I was able to go out to dinner with him. He took me to this bomb-ass skewer spot. It was right in the heart of Shibuya, right by the Shibuya Scramble. So I get done hanging out with him. He has a drift event the next morning, so we kind of call it early. Your boy's a little drunk, so I'm just vibing, going through the Shibuya crossing, just filming it. Oh my God, I'm here, I can't believe it. And on my way back, I fall asleep on the train and go 1 stop too far. So I just met them at a 7-Eleven, got some more creme brulees. The creme brulees from 7-Eleven is the most slept on thing out of all of the konbini shit. I dream about these creme brulees to this day, and I will not rest until we have them here in America. Now, in order for me to be able to get the exhaust back, there's a couple things that need to happen. Came in this huge box with a muffler and mid pipe both in the box. The box is too big to be an oversized piece of luggage, so they're not going to accept it on the plane. So I need to cut down the box for the mid pipe, and I need to get a piece of luggage to hold the muffler. I grabbed the muffler and put it in a collapsible Cotopaxi backpack that I had, and it was a tight fit, but the muffler fit. So I buy the bag, get back to the hotel. Story of the trip, things are about to close, so we gotta hustle. So we get on the train, I split off from them.
All right, so we just got done at Liberty Walk. They were closing up, so I wasn't able to film anything, but was able to get a sick ass hoodie right before they closed. On our way to meeting Jennifer and Jennifer at the loft, it just so happens I got to Shibuya Crossing. Super dope. Han drifted there. Everybody stopped in the middle taking pictures. Pokemon Center.
I then meet up with Jennifer, they finish up their shopping, and for the last meal, we're like, all right, let's get something we haven't gotten yet. And we hadn't gotten any hot pots or sukiyaki yet.
All right, so we made it to the sukiyaki place. I'm gonna give you guys a look. We got our veggies. We got some noodles, an egg, and we got the meat. So we put it all in here, and as it cooks, we pull it out and eat it.
Two different liquids in it. One of them's the sukiyaki liquid, which is a little bit thicker and tastes more like teriyaki sauce. And then the other one is a sukiyaki pot, and I forget what liquid that was, but it just kind of looked like water.
We got all of the food going into the shabu shabu sukiyaki. We grab the beef, we put it in the egg.
The egg actually makes it really good.
We get done eating and we go back to the Airbnb, and this is now kind of the hard part. It's like midnight. We're in an apartment building, more or less, and we got to pack up all our shit. But every noise I make, I feel like is waking up all the neighbors. I have to collapse down this box. I have to cut the box. I then have to like make sure and like keep measuring to get the box as small as I possibly can to make sure that it fits within like the height standards and everything.
All right, update. We got back last night pretty late. Was up till 3 getting everything packed up and got the box figured out. Originally, the box was about this big. Got the muffler in my luggage with a bunch of other stuff like my windshield wipers and anything we can't take on the plane like our knives. But got this guy cut down to where it should be the correct standards for an oversized piece of luggage. I had to use a bunch of the TN tape that I bought at Autobaqs. It's like 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters under what it needs to be right now, so I'm like right on the line. But we should be good to go. Now we just got to get ready, get everything packed up, and get all of our bags and us down to the airport. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the ass with how many bags and that giant box, but I think we'll be able to do it. So we got my camera bag, Jennifer's carry-on, China's carry-on, my carry-on, the mid-pipe, all of our knives, the muffler, all of the shit that we bought here, Jennifer's backpack, and then all of our pillows. We came here with these 3 bags and we're leaving with all of this. All right, made it to the train station. Now we just got to get to the airport.
We get to the airport, and this is the moment of truth. We go to baggage to load everything up, and they're like, oh, is this an oversized bag? And I'm like, yeah, yes it is. They're like, okay. And this whole time, I'm crossing my fingers because I don't want them to tell me that they're not gonna take this bag, which I feel like they could tell me at any time. So we go up, they weigh it, they're like, oh, it's awfully light. And I'm like, yeah, it's just one titanium tube, it's hollow, it's a car part. And they're like, all right, is it like a catalytic converter? And I was like, no, just a titanium pipe. And they're like, okay, can we x-ray it? And I was like, go for it. They x-ray it, they do the chemical test to make sure it's not a bomb. Everything comes back peachy. They take the package.
We made it through the baggage stuff. Actually, they just charged it like a regular bag, thank God. Had to get it x-rayed, had to get it tested to make sure there wasn't explosives in it and shit, but it made it through. Our regular baggage was well underweight, so we're good to go.
And this is where I'm like, mission success, boys, let's roll them up.
All right, plane's about to leave. Got the last thing, some plum wine. Gonna go down, meet Jennifer and Sheena at the gate, and they should be boarding like right now. I'm gonna miss it. Can't wait to come back, holy shit.
Now, the things I would change. I would have spent more time in Osaka for car culture than I did in Tokyo. I only spent like 1 or 2 days there, but I did think a majority of the car content was gonna come from Tokyo. After talking to my client, it's clear that Osaka has more of the car culture that I was looking for. So definitely feel like Osaka is slept on as far as car culture. 2 weeks was an awfully long time, but I don't think I'd go any less time, if that makes sense. Even if you spent 2 weeks in one city, you're not gonna see nearly half of that said city. The last thing I'll say is I would go with the understanding that no matter what you've looked at and seen online, Japan is gonna be different. Really get out of your comfort zone and have fun, because we've all dreamed about this land. We've all grown up with its influences, whether that be manga or anime or cars or whatever else. The culture in general, just, it's a real spot and respect it. And until next time, I'll catch you later.